Norma, I'm wanted on a murder charge.
What kind of a story is that?
It's a true story.
Miss Sessions? Miss Sessions, you all right?
Tell him. Tell him you can't see him right now. You're too upset to see him.
You'll go away and I'll never see you again.
Miss Sessions!
If the police take me, they'll execute me.
And look who's the loser either way.
All right.
The Fugitive. A QM production. Starring David Jansen as Dr. Richard Kimball, an innocent victim of blind justice, falsely convicted for the murder of his wife. Reprieved by fate when a train wreck freed him en route to the death house. Freed him to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs. Freed him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story: Angie Dickinson, Robert Duvall, John Erickson. Tonight's episode, Brass Ring, brought to you by
the southern coast of California, where the land ends and an amusement pier juts out into the sea. A place where strangers meet, where a new face is not suspect. The fingerprints are still Dr. Kimball's, but the name is now Ben Horton.
Hello?
By the hour or by the day?
What's that?
You want to rent a pole by the hour or by the day?
Actually, I'm looking for a job.
It's kind of slow on the pier this time of season. You get that plate cut and quit gassing. How bad do you want a job, mister?
Bad enough.
How good are you at Barracuda?
I don't know, but I'm willing to try.
Lies. You go down to Sessions' gift shop. Down there by the merry-go-round, on the right. You tell Miss Sessions Large sent you. That's me.
Thank you.
Miss Norma Sessions. Every tramp comes bumming a job, you send him down to Sessions. Not one of them will last more than a day. One of them will.
May I help you?
Miss Sessions?
Yes. help you with something?
I'm looking for a job. Well, you see, there's a man on the pier. He said his name was Laws. Thought there might be a job here.
Oh, maybe there is. Put down your name and address, please. Or maybe if you moved it over here a little. The light's better.
Well, I can, name. I'm negotiating for an address. Now that I proved I can write my name, do I get the job?
Ben Horton.
I have a strong back and I mind my own business.
I'm not even sure there is a job. It kind of depends on... It depends on my brother.
When can I meet him?
Excuse me. I'll be right back. This one's nice. Try and not be too nasty to him. Please, Leslie.
Stop.
I'm just trying to help you look neat. He's good looking, too.
Get him.
If you'd like to meet my brother. Mr. Horton, Mr. Sessions.
How do you do?
You see, Leslie was in an automobile accident. The job is to care for him. He has to be carried from his chair to his bed and dresser and fed.
Go.
I was just telling him.
Get out.
I'm only trying to help, that's all.
A man doesn't like to hear himself called vegetable.
Leslie,
Get out!
if you'll excuse me.
Unreasonable. Mean.
A little.
She hates me. Question.
Go ahead.
Why?
Why do I want the job? The only one I can find.
Is it my sister?
I just met her a little while ago.
Ben Horton?
That's right.
Bum?
Well, I travel around a little, yes.
Anything else?
I'm sober and I'm honest.
I don't know that.
No, you don't. So we'll just forget about it.
You've got the job. But I'll be watching you.
You better leave the door open.
Well, he's asleep.
Already? Well, there is something.
You'd show me where I could get some sheets and towels. I guess that's all I'll need.
Oh, yes, the sheets. Well, I was just about to go after them. They're at my place. Oh, if you want to walk me home, you could pick them up. Then I won't have to come back.
Sure.
You mind a little music?
Oh, no.
It's getting to where I can hardly go to sleep without it. Any objection to colored sheets?
That'd be fine.
It's a nice mattress you're going to sleep on. I know, because I've been sleeping on that bed while there was no one to take care of my brother. Oh, I guess I forgot to talk to you about salary. Would $75 a week be all right?
Well,
Don't worry, it doesn't come out of the shop. My brother got $100,000 insurance after the accident. It comes from that.
75 will be plenty.
Oh, I didn't know how tired I was. I'd ask you to stay for a drink or something, but...
That's all right, I'm tired, too.
Well, good night, Mr. Horton.
Good night.
Watch out for the hairpins.
Yeah, I will. Thanks.
Customers?
I sold an ashtray.
Morning, Leslie.
Hey, you know, it's such a nice day. It's a shame to be cooped up here. Why don't we go out in the sunshine?
No.
You need a little cover.
No.
You know, you haven't been out of this room since I got here. 3 days. All right, we won't go outside. Would you like some more ammunition?
Sleep.
You've had 10 hours. Such a thing as too much sleep.
Horton, chair.
What?
Chair.
Oh. I'll be back soon if you need me.
bring the ashtray.
Glad to be of service. There you go. Well, let's do the exercises, the ones we did yesterday. Come on.
No.
Come on. No. 1, 2. Now, I know it's painful and I know it's hard, but it's going to do you good. I told you about the hospital I worked in. I saw fellas with half your mobility to start with get back the use of themselves, little by little. First it was a toe, and then a finger, and then a hand, and pretty soon they could walk. And that was something to see. But they had to work for it. Couldn't start and stop, couldn't start and stop.
You shouldn't have started in the first place. What's the point in raising his hopes?
But I didn't think there was anything wrong with trying.
The doctor tried. Ben, he tried everything.
I know, I didn't think someone should just give up, you know.
Those exercises are painful. And he's had so much pain. I pray every night he won't have to suffer anymore.
I know, but I know how you feel.
Horton. Exercise.
Leslie, you'll only make yourself worse.
Get her out!
Please. Okay. There we go. 1, 2.
Praise.
3, 4. Now you control your breathing like I showed you. Come on. 1, 2.
Don't let her use you.
3, 4. 1, 2.
Horton.
I heard you. 3, 4. Grab a hold. 1, 2. 3, 4. What's the matter?
Horton,
What about?
you should see him with Leslie. It might sound crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had him walking soon.
Yeah, that does sound crazy. Just forget about it.
I tell you should see
You're
him.
not getting soft on the guy or something. Now, that wouldn't fit.
Of course not. It's just, well, he just doesn't seem the kind of drifter you'd expect.
You're the one who told me he ducked when he saw that cop, right?
I know,
So
but
make your pitch. There's no telling what a guy like that'd do for a couple of bucks.
he's not like that.
Well, what is he like?
I don't know. I don't know, but don't get angry. I'll talk to him, you'll see. I'll take care of it. She named my brother after Leslie Howard and me after Norma Shearer. They made a movie, Romeo and Juliet, together. My mom was in it, too. She was an extra. That's how she met my father. He was an electrician on the set. Am I going on and on?
No, it's fine.
They opened the shop when things got bad in Hollywood. My dad always said that was the end of the line. Pier. You don't like to talk about yourself, do you?
Well, you're much more interesting.
Who, me? An old maid?
Yeah. I got the impression that Lars was going to change all that.
Lars and I? He's nice. But he doesn't make waves.
Well, he looks to me like he's in love with you.
Little boy stuff.
No, Ma, I can't make you any speeches.
I'm not asking for any.
Or promises.
We talk too much.
The Fugitive will continue following station identification.
Quiet all of a sudden.
It's kind of a relief.
You get used to that old merry-go-round music.
Not me, I couldn't.
You could if it meant a place of your own.
So one of these days, Leslie's going to be able to take care of himself. It'll change.
You really think so, Ben?
You know, he ate by himself this evening. At least he picked up the spoon.
Picked up the spoon. And I'm going to be 27 in 2 months.
He's making good time, Norma.
I hate you.
Why is that?
Because you make me feel like right here and now and not someday. Like I'm a woman. You better get away. You better get as far away from me as you can.
What?
Because I'm no good for you. I'm no good for anybody.
You want an argument?
I'm serious. You know the kind of dream I keep having? It's about a man. A man who comes into my life and carries me off. Sets me free.
You're not the first woman that ever dreamed of a knight on a white horse.
He's not a knight or anything, just a guy who comes out of nowhere. A guy who's had it rough and can see it in someone else.
Life's just a dream, Norman.
But in the dream, the way he sees it, I'm in prison. And Leslie's keeping me there. So it's like it's either my life or his. Leslie's. You understand?
That's not a dream, Norman. That's a nightmare.
That's what makes it so horrible. Whenever it happens, I wake up happy, thinking something wonderful is about to happen.
Well, you can't blame yourself for a dream.
Ben, I had that dream again the night before you came to the shop.
Norma, people have all sorts of dreams. It's a way of getting rid of our anger or frustrations. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. You can dream about anything you want. Just don't get it mixed up with reality. I better go check on Leslie.
Sure. But you're not mad at me or anything.
Sure I am, can't you tell?
You want to tell me about it?
I got soaked on the beach.
I know. He was up here for over an hour.
Not what you think. Lars, it's not.
How do you know what I think?
I talked to him about Leslie.
And?
Didn't work, that's all.
Listen, Norma. Up till now, it's been just you and me. No games, no secrets, right?
You've had enough proof of that.
Okay. So if he doesn't play by the rules, we change the rules.
Lars, he...
No, we change the rules. We waited a long time to land this one.
I know.
And don't start thinking about throwing him back. Or me neither.
You've got it all wrong, Lars.
No, I've got it all right. Just want to make sure you do.
That's it.
Receipts?
How much?
100.
You count them, Horton.
Call me when you're finished.
I've been watching you and her lately, like I said I would. And after I told you how she hates me.
Ah, you don't know that, Leslie.
I do know that. I see it in her eyes, so don't try and tell me different. It's like a war, Horton, and I want to know whose side you're on.
$125.
Horton? Horton, you're talking about helping me! Horton? Ben? I set up. I set up, Ben. By myself. Without your help. You. It was you.
Oh, you just got mad, Leslie. You just got mad.
Where's your father?
Made a couple of dollars yesterday, and he's out boozing it up.
My brother went to the bank. Ben took him.
What are you talking about? He hasn't been outside since the accident.
He sat up today by himself.
You're kidding.
It was Ben. I told you the exercise and all. Lars, it's almost spooky.
He got to you, didn't he?
No.
Norma, how many chances do you think we're going to get? You want to spend the rest of your life on this stinking pier, playing nursemaid to Leslie? You think I want to stay here with my dad stinking up the place with his dirty booze? I got to get out of here, and so do you.
I know.
Okay. Now, let's look at the facts. Why do you think he went to the bank?
Did you deposit the receipt?
No. Leslie would have made you do that, same as usual. We got to find out. That money is ours, Norma.
Awarded for injuries. I always thought that was some kind of bad joke. Award. I couldn't even hold it, but now look! Take as much as you need, Horton.
Well, this money ought to go back in the bank vault.
It's been there too long, like me. Here, now take as much as you want.
Look, Leslie, you can pay me by learning to walk, all right?
Well, if you won't take it, will you help me spend it?
I'm going to be moving on soon. I told you I like to travel.
Then let me travel with you. We'll leave any time you say, even tomorrow. My sweet little sister can have this shop. And we'll go someplace lazy, maybe like an island with girls and gin and coconut shells.
Gin and a coconut shell. Now, think about that. You get some rest. We'll talk about it later. It's getting late. I guess we better get back. About 11.
Let's not
What?
go back. Let's just stay right here or go someplace where everything's happy all the time.
Norma.
What have we got? You and me, I mean.
Something good right now.
Right now. Nothing more.
I told you.
But things can change. Not by themselves, maybe, but if you sort of give them a little help. Yeah. Maybe we better be getting back. I'm getting cold.
Supposed to meet me here at 11 o'clock. You seen him?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Hello, I'm back.
Get the police! Lord! Lord! Norma! He killed your brother!
He did it. No, I didn't. He was here.
Were you trying to say that Lars?
Trying to say I didn't kill him. Well, go on, ask him. He was here.
Why don't you ask me yourself? I haven't been here all night. Isn't that right, Norma? Well, go on, tell him. Tell him.
Lars and I have been together all evening.
I'm going to get the police.
On this pier are ordered to leave at once. This is by order of the police department. Let's go, folks. Move on, please. Let's move.
There's the guy I told the whole story to.
Well, a good story bears repeating.
All right? Like I said, Miss Sessions and I were walking down at the beach.
Hold it. And when you finish getting those pictures in there, get some out here for me, will you? Now, you were down by the beach.
That's right, and then we came back here to meet my pop for coffee.
Yeah, that's right. And before he could get here, Horton come right in here, and the next thing I knew, that poor cripple's Breathing his lungs out. Ben, don't, he keeps yelling. I heard him a couple of times.
Very convenient.
What's that mean?
I understand you recommended Horton for this job. Was he a friend of yours?
No. I felt sorry for him.
Got the pier locked in tight, Lieutenant.
What about Horton? Look, I'm after a man, not a tactical exercise. Get going.
Yes, sir.
Now, didn't you tell Officer Shearer that when Horton ran out of here, he had an overnight case with him?
Yes, sir. And that was Leslie's bag. It was open. I could see it was full of money.
How much? You any idea?
How would I know? What do you think? I counted it?
About 25,000?
I told you I don't know.
That's right. That's what you told me.
That's right. That's what I told you.
Lieutenant!
Yeah?
We've got him.
You got the wrong fish, Lieutenant.
Be around here somewhere. Wagner, Nicholson, round up all the men you can and bring them down to this end of the pier. We'll ring the whole area. Come with me.
may be here for a while. I think you owe me that much.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Couldn't you?
Lars made me do it, I swear.
And the other night, that dream of yours. And now we both know what it is you wanted me to do.
No. I wanted us to...
You wanted what, Norman?
I don't know. I just wanted to get away.
And it didn't matter with whom, did it? Just whoever that'd kill your brother and give you the money. No, it didn't matter if it was Lars or me or some man walking down the...
No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't. I love you, Ben.
It's been a long night, no?
It's true.
Forget about it. You got what you want, you got the money, you got Lars. You can buy yourself a pier. And go to that place you talked about where everyone's always happy.
Lars would have killed me. You don't know what he's like.
I got a good idea.
Ben, as soon as I get away from Lars, I can write to the police and tell them the whole story, everything. They'll let you go and then I can meet you someplace.
No, thank you.
I can tell them Lars threatened to kill me and that's why I lied. They'll believe me because he'll still have the money.
Norma, I'm wanted on a murder charge.
Oh, that's just plain crazy. You don't have it in you to kill anyone. I know that.
I didn't kill anyone, but a jury convicted me.
What kind of a story is
That's
that?
a true story.
Miss Sessions? Miss Sessions, you all right?
Look, tell him. Tell him you can't see him right now. You're too upset to see him.
You'll go away and I'll never see you again.
Miss Sessions!
If the police take me, they'll execute me.
And look who's the loser either way.
All right. Did he hurt you?
No. He didn't hurt me.
Take him away.
Sorry you had to go through this, Miss Sessions.
Lieutenant? Lieutenant, he's not the one who killed my brother. Lars and I planned it together. What I said upstairs. I guess I meant it.
May be required to make another statement. Where can you be reached?
The YMCA.
Piece of advice, fella. Next time you get mixed up in something you didn't do, don't run away, no matter how bad it looks.
I remember that.
Save up a lot of loneliness, and you're apt to spend it somewhere. This time on a lonely pier, livened only with the sound of an ancient calliope. And the brass ring caught by a fugitive can only give him another brief ride to nowhere.
Richard. Richard, I'm going to drive you to the truck.
No, I feel much better. You saved my life, that's enough.
Oh, please, Richard, let me.
Good evening, Miss Rennick.
Oh, Lieutenant Gerard.
The Fugitive. A QM production. Starring David Jansen as Dr. Richard Kimball, an innocent victim of blind justice, falsely convicted for the murder of his wife. Reprieved by fate when a train wreck freed him en route to the death house. Freed him to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs. Freed him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story, Barbara Berry, Andrew Duggan, also starring Barry Morse as Lieutenant Philip Gerard. Tonight's episode, The End is But the Beginning.
A man who has to run to survive finds respite sometimes in desolate places. For the moment, this man is Steve Younger. For the moment, a truck driver. Yet today, within the hour, Steve Younger has a rendezvous with death.
Everybody paid. It must be something about the weather. Money's running freer. Nick, except for Henny Wilkins, he didn't have it this month.
That puts him 2 months behind. And this is half of what Dykstra owes. Nothing from B&B and nothing from Stillman. You think I'll still have a job next month?
Amy, make sure Steve doesn't go away without those invoices.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to take them out to him now. Steve, you didn't forget the invoices, did you?
Well, I probably would have.
I was wondering if you remembered that new route to Coverton.
I traced it on the map.
Oh. Well, a friend of mine bought tickets for a play for tonight, and she can't go, so I just wondered if you'd like the tickets. They're all bought and paid for. It'd be a shame for them to go to waste.
Would you go with me?
Oh, thank you. I'd like to see it.
Well, maybe we could have dinner.
That'd be fine.
7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
He's not for you. Nothing against him. He seems like a nice enough sort of guy, but you know, one foot on the ground, the other on the first bus out of town.
John, about these collections...
Well, never mind that now. I'm trying to tell you that Steve
I just went out to give him the invoices. You asked me to. Now, I really think we should decide how to make these collections.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Sam.
Steve Younger.
Oh, hi. How far are you going?
About 20 miles.
Oh, good. It's 20 miles closer.
Not to home and Mom and apple pie?
No, just closer to whatever comes next. The only home I ever had was the Army. I joined up to see them faraway places. You know, a geisha girl, licksaw, pretty brown eyes. Ruts a ruck. Me, 4 years in the stinking canal zone. I got no mom anymore, no pop, nobody. The only friend or kin Sam Barlow ever knew was Uncle Sam. I was nephew number 17007171. Well, my ticket's to the open road. At least until I get shed of some of that. Hey, look out! Jump! Come on, let's jump!
Yes? I'll be right over.
What is it, John?
Steve piled up at the bottom of Steiner's Pass. The truck caught on fire. He's dead. It's a shock to you, Amy. He was really getting to mean something to you.
I was being nice to him, that's all. He was all alone.
Steve liked being alone.
Nobody likes it, John.
I guess you've been lonely too, Amy. I've been watching you for 2 years now, ever since you first started working for me. I know I'm almost 50. You've never given me any encouragement. But last month I was going to speak out for myself anyway. Then along came Steve and, well, it just knocked the sand out of me to see the way you looked at him. Just knocked the sand out of me. Anyway,
There it is. You go ahead. I'll stay here.
Hello, John.
Hi, Lou.
Nothing we could do. He was gone when we got here.
Looks like.
Who was driving?
Name of Steve Younger. Not all I know about him. He was a transient. Got his trucker's ticket when I offered him the job.
How long's he been with you?
About 6 weeks.
Know anything about his kinfolk?
He never mentioned any.
Got an address on him?
No, he has a hotel room in Hurley.
I'll have to pick up his personal effects.
He has a locker at the garage, too, but I imagine most of his stuff is at the hotel room.
Well, would you or Amy pick them up for me? You both live in Hurley. It'll save me a trip.
Sure.
I'll stop by later and get your statements.
Where are you going to take the body, Lou?
Coroner at Coverton.
Need any identification?
Impossible. Wouldn't do any good to try. What's left of your Mr. Younger can't even be recognized.
The rendezvous with death has been kept. A man burned beyond identification will be buried. And with him, Steve Younger. And with Steve Younger, Richard Kimball. If Lieutenant Philip Gerard can be made to discover that Steve Younger and Richard Kimball are one and the same man.
This is his room. There you are. His rent was paid up, so there's nothing owed. But I do want a receipt for anything taken.
Just some people from another room. Now, what are we going to do? What was in that letter you were writing to your father?
Nothing. I didn't think anyone would come until tomorrow. Didn't expect anyone tonight. I thought they'd come and find the letter and realize who Steve Younger really was. They'd call Gerard and tell him that Richard Kimball was dead. And then maybe he'd quit. Maybe he'd really quit.
But if you didn't kill your wife, why is he so vindictive?
I don't know. It really doesn't make any difference. I can't run anymore. I can't even stand up. Aren't you going to call the police?
But you're innocent.
Am I? I left my wife alone. A man came in and killed her. And I wonder if... Did I really try to save that hitchhiker, or had some part of me already started to make this plan?
Now, we don't have time to waste talking nonsense.
How do you know it's nonsense?
Well, I don't always ask myself how I know a thing is right. I just know I'm not going to call the police. Lieutenant Garlock asked me to come here and collect your belongings. And if I were going to call him, I would have done it 10 minutes ago. So I do know what I'm going to do. Do you feel strong enough to finish writing that letter while I gather up your things?
I'll try.
Just to let you know, I'm still free, still running, wondering if it'll ever end. Love to Doug and Sis, kiss her kids for me as ever, Dick. Well, Amy, I don't think there can be much doubt.
Obviously, he tried to change his appearance, but I'm sure that the man who worked for us was Dr. Kimball.
Funny. Of course, I never saw the man. But there you were, working with him for 6 weeks, never knowing he was a killer.
Didn't Dr. Kimball always deny his guilt?
They all do, Amy.
Yes, I suppose so. Well, I must be getting back to work.
Thanks for your help. I'll teletype the police in Stafford, Indiana. Let them know that Richard Kimball is dead.
Fine. Bye, Lieutenant.
Bye, Amy.
Well, I don't know what else I can tell you about it, Chet. Oh, wait a minute. Here's the captain. Did you authorize an interview with Mrs. Shaw?
Yes.
Hello, Chet. Yeah, it's okay. You can go ahead. Yeah. Oh, well, thanks. You so cheerful this morning, Captain.
Richard Kimball. We just got a Twix from Pennsylvania, Phil. He's dead. Phil, I'll take the Shaw report if it's ready. Phil. The Shaw report?
Paul can wrap up the Shaw report. I better get back and check this out.
No, wait a minute, Phil.
Can't close a file on nothing but this. Could be a mistake.
Who are you calling?
Airport. First plane east.
Lieutenant? I still like to think I'm head of this department. I believe I know who to send on what assignment. Now, where's the report I asked for? Thank you. I got a seat for you on a plane that leaves at 12:25, flight 907. I need you back here in court on the Shaw case on Friday. Phil, I feel like saying good luck, but I'm just not sure what that would mean.
No. Neither am I.
I hope this ends it.
Hello. You feeling better?
I don't know what day it is.
It's only tomorrow. You've been asleep.
How long?
Oh, since 10:30 last night.
14 hours?
Well, you needed it. And now you need some food. Those are shaving things and cigarettes. I take it you got my note.
Yes, and the clothes. Where'd they come from?
Oh, I bought them for a cousin of mine in Erie. You were asleep, so I left them here this morning before I went to work. There's no chance of anyone dropping in, because I live alone, except for a Rusty the cat.
You put this bandage on my head?
Yes.
I don't remember much. Are they still convinced I'm dead?
Yes. Lieutenant Garlock teletyped the Indiana police this morning.
That means Gerard is on his way.
He's flying in this afternoon.
They moved the wreck?
No, they can't.
And I've got to get out to him.
What for?
That hitchhiker I picked up the boy. He told me he had no relatives except his Uncle Sam. And he showed me his dog tags. That's what woke me up. I kept dreaming about them.
But you can't go out there now. They're guarding it.
Guarding it?
The fire patrol. They're watching it for what they call, hot spots. Besides, you're still very shaky, and Lieutenant Garlock didn't find anything.
Lieutenant Garlock isn't Phil Gerard.
But everything burned.
But the dog tags. Unless they were in the cab. And the fire was so hot it melted the truck. I've got to try, Amy. The odds are getting worse.
I wish you'd stop sounding so hopeless.
Amy, you don't know what Phil Gerard is capable of. You said you felt right about helping me. I don't know why you want to take the risk.
Well, only once or twice in my life have I ever asked anybody for anything. First time it turned out very badly. The second time was yesterday when I asked Steve Younger to take me to the theater. And he was very kind. Made me feel unafraid.
But now you know I'm not Steve Younger.
Has my knowing changed you?
Amy, Gerard has a way of sensing things. He's brilliant. He knows me. Maybe better than I know myself. If you make one slip,
Richard. Trust me.
Oh, hello, Amy. Come on in. Wait here a second, will you? Lieutenant? Lieutenant, this is Amy Rennick. She's the one who found the letter. Lieutenant Gerard.
How do you do? Thank you for coming. Hope it hasn't spoiled your afternoon.
Not a bit. These are the things you wanted from the locker, Lieutenant.
Oh, yes. I just wanted to meet you and confirm your identification of that photograph Lieutenant Garlick showed you. You're positive that Kimball and Younger were one and the same?
Yes, I am. But I see you're not depending on my observations.
No, we've looked at the remains.
Inconclusive.
And we're taking fingerprints. What's that?
Hair dye. That's Richard Kimball. Miss Rennick, do you know when Mr. Harlan's planning to haul the truck out of Steiner's Pass?
As soon as they're sure all the fires are dead, I guess.
They're trying to cold trail the area now. They'll let them know as soon as it's safe to go in. Maybe later this evening.
I want to check the cab of that truck. If I can find some latent prints on the wheel or the dash, that'll remove all doubts. And this may be the end of a hunt that's taken me back and forth across the country for about a dozen times. That's been a couple of 100,000 miles. It's a long way for two men to run.
What about the third man? Wasn't Dr. Kimball looking for a man with one arm?
That was his invention, Miss Rennick. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Where did she learn about the one-armed man?
Hi, you hungry?
Well, look at you.
Yeah, I'm sound as a dollar. Whatever that means.
Richard, you're well. Everything's working out perfectly.
What about Gerard?
Well, he's rather frightening, isn't he? But very polite. Anyway, I think he's convinced. He saw the body and he checked your effects. And late tonight or early tomorrow, he's going down to try to get what they call latent prints from the cab of the truck. And that'll finish it. What is it, Richard?
The cab didn't burn.
Oh, yes, it did burn. But not completely, I guess. Or, Richard, what is it?
I told you the dog tags. If the cab didn't burn, they're probably still inside. That means Gerard will find them. Unless I can get there ahead of him and find them first.
Richard. Richard, I'm going to drive you to the truck.
No, I feel much better. You saved my life, that's enough.
But we could search together. Maybe the bag fell out of the truck. You did.
I jumped. Sam Barlow didn't.
Oh, please, Richard, let me.
Good evening, Miss Rennick.
Oh, Lieutenant Gerard.
This is not inconvenient, I hope.
No, won't you come in, please?
Thank you. Oh, were you going out?
Yes, I was going to the drugstore, but it can wait. Would you like to sit down?
Thank you.
Please.
I had to tie up a loose end, Miss Rennick. Maybe only a psychological loose end, but... well, perhaps you can imagine how well I came to know Richard Kimball. In fact, I believe the only thing about him that I never understood was that quality in him that made sensitive, intelligent strangers want to help him.
That would be difficult to define, Lieutenant. He was a very attractive man.
John Harlan tells me that you saw him socially.
No. The only date we ever had was for the night of the accident.
On past occasions, Kimball confided, seldom freely or voluntarily.
If that's going to be a question, the answer will be no. He never mentioned his past.
No hint about his troubles.
None.
Curious. You mentioned the one-armed man this afternoon. I've been wondering who told you about it.
Rusty. Shame on you. This is Rusty, my one true love.
Rusty, you interrupted us.
I sometimes let my dishes pile up. And I think my kitchen's a mess, but Rusty thinks it's a treasure trove.
Miss Rennick, who did tell you about the one-armed man?
I read about it in the papers.
I spent a couple of hours combing through the dead file in the Coverton Library today. All the accounts of the Kimball trial in the local papers in Coverton and here in Hurley were very sketchy. The one-armed man was never mentioned.
St. Louis, Missouri is my hometown, Lieutenant. Dr. Kimball and the one-armed man were in the headlines there. I left St. Louis 2 years ago, but I still get the paper by mail. Is that what you call conclusive evidence, Lieutenant, like fingerprints?
Yes, it is.
And you do have the fingerprints now, don't you?
Yes, from his room.
And the truck?
Lieutenant Garlick tells me the fire patrol will be withdrawing its guard in another hour or two.
And when you get the fingerprints from the cab of the truck, will that help tie up your psychological loose end?
That's an odd question.
Not really. If Richard Kimball is dead, that would be the end of a lot of worry and trouble for you, and yet you seem to be trying to prove that he's alive.
You said if Kimball is dead.
And you hope it's a slip of the tongue.
Well, I suppose naturally I tend to reject the idea that my search may be becoming obsessive, but it's a hard habit to break. If Kimball is dead, I'll prove it, perhaps in spite of myself. Thank you again, Miss Rennick. You're a stimulating woman.
You said it would be tough, but I think it's working.
Well, you were great, but that cat's gotta go.
I nearly fainted. I think I've found a psychological loose end of my own. You asked me before why I was helping you. I was lonely. I needed somebody who needed me. More for my own sake than for yours. Now I've just had my first unselfish thought.
What's that?
The dog tags. We've got to go and get them.
You said you were going to the drugstore. You better do that first, in case Gerard is watching. He probably is.
Will you wait here?
I still need you. Wait here, Amy.
Yeah, Lou, it's John Harlan. I thought you'd like to know the fire patrol has it wrapped up out here.
Thanks, John. I'll pick up Lieutenant Gerard. We'll be there in 15 or 20 minutes. Joe, get on the phone, locate Gerard. I'll pick him up at his hotel. Try there first.
Get them? Oh, thank goodness. Give me this. I'll take it home, and I'll get rid of it a little bit at a time.
All right. Now, look, I'll find a way to get word to you as soon as I'm sure. But I really think that Gerard's going to buy our story.
I don't. I think he's going to like my story better. Dr. Kimball. All right, Amy, I don't think anybody else saw your car. Now go. I'll forget you were here.
Not unless you let him go, John.
Now, Amy, please.
We were together.
You think I don't know that? I knew from the start you were falling in love with him. Well, I couldn't stop that, and I can't stop the way I feel. I don't want you mixed up in this.
I want to be mixed up in it. I am mixed up in it. He's innocent.
You know he claims to be.
I believe him.
Well, I don't. And I've got the gun, and so help me, I'll shoot him where he stands.
Run! Run!
I didn't mean it, Amy. I didn't mean it. Do something. Help her, please.
See if there's something in the car to put her head on. Hurry. It's an artery. Your bullet hit an artery.
Let's get her to the hospital, quick.
No. There's a phone up on the highway. Call an ambulance. Tell them to get here as quick as they can.
I'll do that. You go phone.
You have to know how much pressure to apply and when to release it. Otherwise, you'll bleed to death.
How do I know you'll stay here if I go phone?
How do you know I'll go to the phone if you stay here?
Richard, go. Please go.
Ambulance, follow up at Steiner's Pass. Car 4, ambulance, follow up at Steiner's Pass.
Garlock to headquarters. Garlock to headquarters. Come in, please.
Roger, Sergeant. Headquarters by.
Charlie, what's that ambulance call?
They're going to Steiner's Pass.
Another accident?
Gunshot accident, Sarge. Amy Rennick was shot. John Harlan called in. There's a doctor on the scene, needs assistance.
Who's the doctor, Charlie?
No identification on that, Sarge. Over.
Loose end, you think?
Step on it.
Okay, Charlie, I'm on my way out there.
The ambulance should be on its way by now.
And John. And the police.
No matter how much trouble John gives me, he'd rather have shot himself than hurt you. I'll give him a chance, Amy. Remember what you said once? More for your own sake than for his.
The ambulance is coming, Amy.
Richard, go. Please go.
Amy, I can't let him.
I lie still. You're making this harder for me than it has to be.
You sure got a big heart.
If I leave, she'll die within a minute. I don't want it on my conscience. So I'm trapped. I'm not going anywhere.
All right, Kimball. I love this woman. I don't know about your wife, but if Amy lives, you saved her. Me too, I guess. They're getting closer. Can I do that? You can use my car. The keys are in it.
You see where my thumb is?
Yeah.
And when I leave, take your thumb, put it into the wound and press hard. When the intern gets here, tell him it's the subclavian artery.
Richard, hurry.
The subclavian artery.
There's only John and Amy here. Looks like we were wrong.
Amy, I'll be at the hospital as fast as I can.
She's gonna make it, John. It's a good thing you know what to do. You saved her life.
How'd the accident happen, Mr. Harlan?
Well, I was showing her how to use this pistol, and it went off.
Who was here with her? I found this in her car.
There's nobody here.
Except the doctor.
What doctor?
You reported there was a doctor on the scene.
What I probably said was that I need a doctor.
When you telephoned. If there wasn't someone else here, why didn't Miss Rennick bleed to death when you went to report the accident?
She was lucky, Lieutenant. Just say she was lucky.
Sooner or later, we're going to find out that the doctor was here and alive. Will you put out an all-points bulletin with Richard Kimball's description?
Now indeed, Steve Younger is dead. But the thin thread which binds Richard Kimball to life winds back into the fingers of Lieutenant Philip Gerard, who will follow it and cut it if he can.
It's too big.
Stand aside. He's standing right over there. believe maybe you're gonna have to slip the shovel under the edge of the rock.
The Fugitive. A QM production. Starring David Jansen as Dr. Richard Kimball, an innocent victim of blind justice, falsely convicted for the murder of his wife. Reprieved by fate when a train wreck freed him en route to the death house. Freed him to hide in lonely desperation, to change his identity, to toil at many jobs. Freed him to search for a one-armed man he saw leave the scene of the crime. Freed him to run before the relentless pursuit of the police lieutenant obsessed with his capture.
The guest stars in tonight's story, Pat Hingle, Mary Murphy. Tonight's episode, Nicest Fellow You'd Ever Want to Meet.
Well, sir, there he was, out on the end of the limb, right smack dab over my head, ears laid back, ready to jump. If I made just one little quick or sudden move, that cat was going to come down on top of me, and I'd be a dead man.
Gee whiz.
It's just about that time that my old Apache training came in mighty handy. You see, I knew that I was just going to have time for the one shot. So I started edging my gun up, just inch by inch by inch by inch. Down that old rascal came out of that tree, and a mountain lion had been killing our rabbits and our deer. Bang! He'd finally dead.
Hi, Joe Bob.
Oh, hey, boys, come on in here. Gee, you just missed a good story. Oh, I wish you'd been here. You would have loved this story, Sam.
Hey, Joe Bob, how come you never take us hunting?
Yeah, Joe Bob.
Maybe because you're all so young, and maybe because I don't want you to find out all my Apache secrets.
Joe Bob, my dad says you got about as much Apache blood in you as an Easter bunny. He's wrong, isn't he?
Well, Johnny, old buddy, I'm gonna have a little talk with your daddy about minding his own business. Come on, let's get on out of here, fellas. Anybody's interested, I'm buying the ice cream. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see if I got my money with me. I got it with me. All right, I got it. Go down. Hey, Charlie! How are you, my friend? By George, let me pay the man. Here we go, boys.
Come on, Charlie. Hey, come here, Charlie.
Yeah, we're going to have whatever you want. Whatever you fellas want, that is exactly what we're going to have. Banana split, that's what I'm going to have. Come on. I don't know about the rest of it. Right here, banana split. Ooh, they're delicious. They're delicious. Come on, banana split. Ooh, they're delicious.
Bixton, Arizona. Small, quiet. For some, a good place to live. But for Richard Kimball, fugitive, it's only a stopover between rides. A stopover he will not soon forget.
Hey, Joe Bob, how's Apache Park coming?
Charlie, it's not coming along too good right now. I can't find any volunteers.
I think I found one for you. He's been looking for a ride with his thumb.
Well, thank you very much, Charlie. Nice day, ain't it? What's your name? Richard Clark. Get in, Mr. Clark. What for? Oh, we got a little ordinance in this town about Tom Thumbs. Hitchhike in.
Hey, well, I'm sorry. I'll just keep walking on out of town.
No, sir, sorry, won't get it, Mr. Clark. Get in. Put your suitcase in back, get in. Please.
However, it looks very favorable at this time. Hear that, Floyd? Very favorable. The Attorney General's office will have a vacancy in their investigated staff within a month, and I have already laid the groundwork for your appointment.
And so on, and so on, and so on.
That, Floyd? Looks like I'm on the way to the state capitol already, huh?
You deserve it, Joe Bob.
Oh, hold it. We're both going to cash in on this. You forgetting somebody's got to take my place? You stick with me, boy. We'll lick this state together. Go over the diner and get us some coffee, will you?
All right.
Floyd, when you come back, bring me one of those nice big jumbo hamburgers, will you? Well, hello, Thelma. How are you?
Marshall Sims?
See Neely?
Yes. Hello, Floyd.
Hi, Thelma. Haven't seen much of you lately.
I was saying the same thing about you only yesterday.
You're looking real nice, Thelma.
I'll take you back, Thelma.
Marshal, you let me out of here. I give you my word.
No, Clark, sorry, not a chance.
Neely? Neely?
What do you want?
Well, I wanted to talk to you.
No, thanks. Just make a U-turn on out of here. I really don't need any lectures. I stole the money, that's it. Period.
Neely, please.
Beat it, sis.
If my brother should need anything.
I'll let you know, Thelma. Would you step back to my office with me for a minute? I'd like to talk to you if I can.
Thelma! You keep away from that pig, hear me? You keep away from him.
He's just on edge, Thelma. Don't pay any attention to him.
Thelma, you stay away from him.
Boy, I'll swear, if you don't try a man's patience to the end... Whew.
Thelma!
Hey.
your own business.
I got to admit, it was bad coffee. Here. Thanks. The marshal is not one of your favorite people.
You don't know it yet, mister. But you're just one tiny little bug in Joe Bob's great big trap.
We don't run a chain gang around here, but you prisoners are expected to do a good day's work. Now, there's only one thing that I want to emphasize. This park is a very important project to me. Someday, the statue of the governor of this state is going to sit on this block. Now, this park is located at Lookout Point, right at the top of our dear state. So naturally, we want the park to be a fitting tribute to the statue that will sit here. Floyd, you take these two, put them to work. Neely, you get back in the car. You and me are going down to the bottom of Lookout Point.
All right, bring those wheelbarrows over here. Make a hole about right there. Clark, right here. About a foot deep.
Neely, you get up front with me. Neely, you really something, you know that? Calling me names, creating all that fuss in front of your sister. What am I going to do with you, boy? Funning around with all the pretty young girls in town, making us old men feel jealous? I ask you, what am I going to do with you? I guess I'm just going to have to teach you a lesson. Ain't that right, Neely? Get out. I've decided there are too many rocks on this road. You're going to pick them all up, one at a time. Get out. Now move! Plenty of rocks there. You just bend over, boy. You'll find them. Let's pick up the speed out there, boy. Let's go, Neely. Excuse me, Neely. I'm not hurting you, is it, son? Let's get it done faster, boy. When you're through, Fred, just park it in front of the jail. Don't forget, boy, I want one of those tinted windshields. Oh, I don't know, Mr. Mayor. I can't tell you how bad it makes me feel to run down a youngster like Neely, even if it was an accident.
He was a wild, reckless kid. No one blames you for what happened.
That's kind of you, Mr. Mayor.
I hate to bring this up, Joe Bob, but you might as well know it now as later. Coroner's coming down from the county seat to hold a hearing on Neely's death.
A hearing?
It's just a formality, I'm sure of that. But you are a law officer involved in the death of a prisoner. Now, this whole town is behind you, Joe Bob.
Well, I sure appreciate that, sir.
If something else comes in on the hearing, I'll let you know.
You do that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, sir. See you. Take off, Lloyd. I'll keep an eye on things. Any trouble?
No, sir. That drunk doesn't do much more than eat and sleep. That other fella, Clark, he's a quiet one.
By the way, Floyd, I got to make a report on that accident. You sure nobody saw it?
No, sir. One man was working down by the gate. I know that for sure. And I remember I sent Clark over to pick up some new trees to plant, but he wasn't gone for more than a few minutes.
Are those new trees we had stacked over by Lookout Point?
Yes, sir.
Go to supper, Floyd. Oh, I almost forgot. Judge Wilkins suspended sentence on Clark. I'll take care of the release.
You sure you don't want me to help you?
You go to supper, boy. You take an extra half hour while you're doing it.
All right.
Marshal! Wait a minute.
Hello, Marshal. I'll walk, that's all right.
Now, since I got your sentence suspended, it's not going to be much trouble to escort you to the city limits. You sit in the car and wait. Evening, Mr. Mayor.
You know, I said I'd let you know if anything happened. Well, I had a call from the coroner. The hearing's set for next Tuesday.
I don't anticipate any trouble.
I want you to know they'll hear nothing but the best from me.
Be truthful, Mr. Mayor. I'm counting on that.
Oh, by the way, Joe Bob, you remember my son, Billy.
The best tackle I ever busted heads with in high school.
Well, Billy's having some trouble with his job back east. I'm sending money each month, but it's a big drain on the savings account. I could just get him situated in something closer.
There's going to be a good job open right here in town in about a month.
You mean yours?
Somebody's got to take it when I get that appointment.
What about Floyd?
Well, Mr. Mayor, you and I have done a little back scratching for each other. Now, Floyd is young, inexperienced. From all I hear about Billy, he's a good family man, all that. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend him for the job.
Thank you, Joe Bob. I'll write Billy tonight and let him know.
That's fine, but I wouldn't spread it around town just yet. Not until after I get the appointment.
Of course not. Well, good night, Joe Bob. Thanks again.
Glad to be of help, Mr. Mayor.
lot of road straight ahead. It's all one way out of town. Don't lose your directions.
You're the man who called?
My name is Clark.
Come in, Mr. Clark. Sit down.
I don't know whether you remember me. I was a prisoner in the same cell with your brother.
Yes, I remember. When you called, you said you were leaving town.
I was. But I didn't think I should leave before I told you something.
Go on.
I was at Apache Park yesterday.
Then you saw the accident?
It wasn't an accident.
What?
I saw the marshal push your brother into throwing that rock. Then he deliberately ran him down with the car.
You're saying Joe Bob murdered my brother?
Yes. Who are you going to call? The marshal? He's the one that did it. Miss Hollister, I'm a vagrant in this town. My word means nothing.
Thelma? Thelma!
It's my father. He's sick. I've got to go to him. Would you wait? Please wait.
Thelma, who's out there?
Well, it was a man who knows Neely. His name is Clark.
Clark? Clark? I don't recall any friend of Neely's named Clark.
Well, he was a prisoner at the jail. He's come to tell us something about what happened.
Well, bring him in.
Listen.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir, but you should call the marshal's office. This is the highway patrol. All right, sir. That name was Clark?
That's right. Richard Clark.
Father, please don't.
Thelma, I'm going to keep that man in town if I have to chain him here. Joe Bob's not going to get away. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here. Like I said, he stole some money.
Your name and address? Mm-hmm. Right. We'll get on it. Goodbye. This is Highway Patrol 3 calling A14J in Bixton. Come in, please.
Hey there, Highway Patrol 3. This is A14J. What's the word, Pete, old buddy?
Excuse me. I wonder if you'd mind giving me a lift. I'm a good driver in case you get sleepy.
Oh, I never let anybody drive my car. But I guess you can have a ride. Come on, get in.
Thank you.
Say, the The gate said it could take a little more. Are you sure it's full?
I'll check.
Please. All right, sir. Oh, did you check the tires?
Yes, sir.
There's 24 in the back, 28 in the front.
Right.
And the water and oil?
Water and oil is fine.
The battery okay?
I didn't check the battery.
Well, will you please?
Right. All right, that's $5.50, sir.
Now, here's a 20. And I'd like some change back in dimes and nickels, please.
Dimes and nickels, okay.
See, I'm going to visit some friends, and they have children. they like to have that change.
That's 60, 70, 80, 90, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 10 is 20, and thank you, sir.
You just made a bad mistake, mister. Get out. You stirred up a hornet's nest, mister. You know that? Old man Hollister called the state police. He tells them you stole some money from him. I mean, I got a different idea. I don't figure you're crazy enough to come back to this town for a few dollars. I want to know the real reason.
Well, the man is broke. He tries things.
You just happened to pick the Hollister house. Is that right?
Well, the kid Neely told me he had some money hidden. From that story, Ron.
Empty out your pockets on that bunk. Let's go. $20. It's $25. Old man Hollister said you stole 100.
Well, it was dark. I was running. I guess I fell. Must have lost some of it.
That's too bad, boy. Now, can you tell me why Neely told you about all that money he hid when he just stole $4 from the store?
Joe Bob?
Yeah?
Mr. Hollister and Thelma are here. They say they want to see Clark before they sign a complaint.
Sure. Why not? Thelma? Mr. Hollister? I can't tell you how sorry I am about what happened.
Thank you. We can understand how you must feel.
I suppose you just came to make sure of your identification.
We want to talk to him.
That's a little unusual, isn't it?
Well, he was here when Neely was. Is it against the law to try and find out something Neely might have said before?
It is after visiting hours, Thelma. But I guess you do have the right. I'll just stand here and make sure he doesn't try anything.
We'd like to talk to him alone.
That's your privilege.
Selma told me what you said. Is it true?
Yes.
And you were willing to turn your back and leave town?
I had to.
What about my boy?
I know what you think of me. But I'm not just some hitchhiker passing through town. I'm wanted by the police back east. So you see, if I stay around for the hearing, pictures and publicity, you know what that could mean to me.
All right, that's enough. Now let's get some water on him. Not you, Clark. Him. I want you to stay right here where I can keep an eye on you. Buckets are over there. Go fill them up and bring them back.
You a friend of the Hollisters?
Better not even mention that name, partner.
I didn't steal their money.
Well, Mr. Hollister has a different version.
Well, he wants to keep me in town for the hearing.
What are you talking about?
I saw the marshal kill Neely Hollister. It wasn't an accident.
I'd knock it off, Clark.
Remember when you sent me out to Lookout Point to get those trees? I saw the whole thing. The marshal was pushing Neely down the road with the bumper of his car. Neely made a run for it, and the marshal ran him down in cold blood. That's why Mr. Hollister wants me here. To testify.
Well, Mr. Hollister would have said something to me.
Not if he thought you'd tell the marshal.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to get a chance to prove your little story.
Look, he killed one man. What's to stop him from killing another? I'm the only one that can testify against him.
Get back to work.
Oh, Floyd, I'm sorry it took so long. You know Fred Deaver? Coroner's man. He starts talking and...
Joe Bob,
Listen, would you like to see something interesting? Just take a little look at that.
Killed his wife?
Yeah, bugging those cells wasn't such a bad idea, was it? I heard him talking to the other prisoner. I decided to check it out.
You know what he just tried to do, Joe Bob? Convince me that you killed Neely on purpose.
Come on, old buddy. You gotta be kidding.
You know, sir, you built up quite a story.
You didn't believe him, did you, Floyd?
Of course I didn't believe him.
Now, don't let it bother you, Floyd. Wife killer, he'll say anything to try to take the heat off of him. Now, you go get yourself a nice, cool drink of water, boy. I'll keep an eye on him. What? You stay right there. What's the trouble, Floyd?
It looks like all that alcohol's boiling out of him.
Maybe we ought to get him into town to a doctor.
You want to call it a day with him, too?
Well, you take him on in, Floyd. We'll let this one finish his painting.
You, sure you don't want me to come back later?
Well, Floyd, if I can't watch over one little prisoner, I'd better hand in my badge, hadn't I?
I'll see you back in town.
Lock that gate, Floyd, when you go past. It's banging itself to death. Some trees need to be planted over there by Lookout Point. You about ready, Kimball? Get going.
Thelma, come on in.
Floyd, I want to see Marshal Sims.
No, he's not in.
I want to withdraw the complaint against Mr. Clark.
Why?
Because he didn't do anything except try to help.
Okay, he told you that wild story, didn't he? About Joe Bob and Neely.
But I don't think it's a wild story.
Thelma, I know how hard this has been on you and your father. And I know how you've always disliked Joe Bob, but that's no reason to start grabbing at straws.
They're not straws.
Now, let me tell you something. We put a trace on Mr. Clark. You know who he really is? A man named Kimball. He's wanted for murdering his wife.
Well, he told me he was in some kind of trouble.
Some kind? They don't make trouble worse than murder.
Well, I'm sorry, Floyd, but whatever he's done, I don't believe he lied to me.
Look, Thelma, Joe Bob is a respected man in this town, and he's promised to hand over this whole thing to me someday, marshal's badge and all. Look, with that kind of money, well, I always thought you and me maybe someday could...
I know. I know, Floyd, but right now I want to speak to Mr. Clark.
You can't. He's out at Apache Park.
You mean with Joe Bob?
They'll be back after a while.
Floyd, what if Mr. Clark is telling the truth?
But he's not telling the truth, Thelma.
But if he is, and Joe Bob knows it.
Let's dump those rocks over the point there. Ooh, that's a long way down, ain't it? I think we better dig this big one out. You know something, Kimball? You're my ticket to the state capitol. Yes, sir. When I bring in a hot-shot fugitive like you, they're liable to give me a medal. Of course, it's very enjoyable right now, watching a wife killer earn his wages. Oh, there's a telephone call from me, waiting in my office from Stafford, Indiana. You happen to know a fellow by the name of Lieutenant Philip Gerard? Well, if you were in a hurry to get to the electric chair, I could go make the call right now. You can't cut through rock with a shovel. You're gonna have to lift that out. What's the matter, boy? Killing women make you weak? Stand aside. You stand over there. I believe maybe you're gonna have to slip the shovel under the edge of the rock. Come on. Get the shovel under there. Let's go.
Let's take him on in.
Floyd, old boy. Almost let this customer get away from me. How'd you find us?
We were on our way to Apache Park when we heard the shot. I found out you'd taken your deer rifle out of the rack. I thought you'd gone hunting. You don't use it for anything else, do you, Joe Bob?
Gopher's been tearing up the park lately, Floyd. Took the rifle along in case I saw one.
Come on down. I can cover him from here.
Oh, Floyd, you take Thelma. Get on out of here. We can't tell about this one. I'll meet you back at the park.
If it's all the same to you, Joe Bob, I'll stay here with you.
Floyd, listen, boy, I've had a long, hard day, and don't you try my patience. If you've got any idea of being marshal someday, you do like you're told.
Floyd! Ask him what he promised the mayor.
Shut up, Kimball!
Now let him tell you about the deal he made to give you a job to the mayor, son.
I said, shut up, Kimball!
What's he talking about, Joe Bob?
How should I know? He's lying. Whose word do you take, his or mine?
Did you make some kind of a deal with the mayor, Joe Bob?
Why should I, Floyd?
Because he needs his help at the hearing.
This whole town's behind me!
Not after they find out you killed Neely Hollister. Don't do it, Joe Bob!
I think you'll be all right.
What difference could it make to a man like you?
When I get to the highway, I'll phone for help.
Just go away. Go away and leave us alone.
In the aftermath of violence, there must always come a moment of peace, a time for healing, and a time to restore the delicate balance of life versus death. But for a fugitive, there can be no moment of peace. He must travel the road of the hunted. And for Richard Kimball, that road apparently has no end.
The Fugitive,